Alright, here we go, guys. This is it. This is the beginning of trying to hit 10 airports in 19 hours. Here's leg number 1. And to start, there's only 41 of us on this 143 plane people. And hopefully this is good luck because the One Love signature aircraft is here across the way. And as I was writing sticky notes for this trip, this one really stood out to me, and I think it's a really great one. As well as this. And then this one is just like a perfect one for traveling, the fact that I'm putting this in airports. Levels. We made it to our first destination! This is Columbus, Ohio. Now to find some water fountains for some sticky notes. Man, this airport too is a really small airport, but they have the really nice water fountains. I only found 2 water fountains. You ready for that? Are you ready? What? Oh, here it comes. Okay, we're currently in Illinois. And you know what comes right after Illinois is Missouri and St. Louis, and in St. Louis, you know what's in St. Louis, right? This was on my bucket list of things to see and do as an airline person, and I tried doing it on like the second day of work, but it didn't happen. But look, there it is, the St. Louis Arch from a plane. Oh, look at it! And like I mentioned before, it's always interesting to try to spot buildings, but look, you can totally tell there's IKEA. Gosh, the turbulence is really bad. Dang. Like that blue building right there is totally IKEA. Yo, St. Louis Airport is giant. I've literally found like 5 water fountains on like just like one half of the terminal. And they have like gates E. That means they must have A, B, C, D, and E. That's like ridiculous. It's kind of funny how every airport we go to, it's just always Southwest plane after Southwest plane after Southwest plane that leaves. Here goes flight number 3, guys. Flight number 3. Just look at that. Welcome to Oklahoma. Welcome to Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's like a really small airport, but it's really nice. Nice and clean, nice new shops, new stores. But definitely tiny. Alright, here we go. Now we're on leg 4. We're going Tulsa, Oklahoma to Las Vegas. And I'm super excited about this flight because guess what? We're gonna go by the Grand Canyon. Bye bye Tulsa, Oklahoma. Into the clouds we go. Like usual today. Check out all the crazy little circles. It's for farming, of course. Driving over central United States, not much out there. And check out how all the roads are like. So I think each little block is like a house. And those are just roads, they're so spread out. And then there's like mountain stuff. Check out the reflection of those clouds for the shadow. Now we're entering northern New Mexico, which means it's more mountainous than desert. Don't get me wrong, there is a bunch of desert, but there's also that green stuff. That was actually Kit Carson National Forest. And that's what a forest looks like from the sky. It looks like science class. Just a bunch of little dots. Check it out, there it is. That's the beginning of the Grand Canyon. If you guys don't, well, if you've been, you know, but like it starts off with this narrow piece right here. canyon starts, that literally is the ridge of the canyon. So that's like where the cars drive. Like if you do the rim drive, that's literally where you drive. And there's all the outlooks are right over there. All the different outlooks. Oh, look, check it out, it's the Hoover Dam. Ah, that's crazy. Welcome to Vegas, but guess who's here? Look, Maryland won. What is Maryland doing in Vegas? Welcome to Las Vegas Airport. Yo, literally you walk out, there's slot machines right there. I can't tell the difference between the Southwest counter and the slot machines. It's a bit ridiculous. Oh yeah, and then like I said, look, I found Maryland 1 here. I don't know what you're doing here, Maryland 1. Get out of Vegas. So that medical emergency has delayed us a little bit, which means I could potentially not make all 10 airports, but fingers crossed, it's not that much of a delay, so we'll still make it. You can see the horrible LA traffic. And then that all the way over there is Death Valley. It's so big you can see it. Alright, welcome to Orange County Airport, California. Okay, so I just got here. There's 30 open seats, but there's a weight restriction on this plane, which means that's a problem. Guess what? Somebody's looking out for me. I got it! Of course I didn't get a jump seat though, but there's like 30 open seats, so hopefully I get a good seat. Are y'all ready? This is the biggest pet peeve of mine.
Double check your
Biggest
seatbelt
pet
and
peeve
enjoy the
on
ride.
airline. People who take the window seat and don't even use the window. Oh, there's the beach. There goes Fresno, California. There you go in the distance, Sierra Nevada mountains. There's the port of Long Beach. One of the greatest ports ever. I didn't really show you guys Oakland at all, but turns out that's because I actually didn't list. So when I was listing myself, you have to do 2 cities at a time because of what I'm doing. So it turns out I forgot to list myself, which is like book a seat pretty much for this flight. So I had to do it like in the moment and do it and get it processed and all that stuff. So we made it. Another hiccup, but we made it. And keep in mind, every time I get off the plane, there's 20 minutes between the time I get off the plane and the plane leaving. So in that 20 minutes, I managed to go around the airport, put up sticky notes, fill up my water bottle, and go to the bathroom if I need to. But this time I also had to manage making a booking, also having the thing that not being there, not knowing why it's not there, getting that processed, and doing all those things. Tahoe. So the Rubicon Trail starts like right there-ish, and I assume it goes into all of that. And there is all of Lake Tahoe. Popular touristy area. Salt Lake City in the distance.
I've gotten my family to watch Drag Race, and they're like, this is weird.
Look, it's the 2002 Olympic Speed Skating Stadium.
And then in the mountains.
We're literally just circling the airport. It's literally right there. That's the airport. Right, so we totally just like circled for 15 minutes. And now we're sitting here on the apron because they don't have a gate for us, which means we are definitely in deep doo-doo for making that connection. But look at that sky. So yeah, dang it, I missed it. Oh, dang it, it just left. Yo, we got it, we got it, we got it. The plane actually had left it. They were filling out paperwork, so I got to make it. Yes, it's not much. Alright, so because I feel like I probably have a little bit of explaining to do, let me take you all back. So, back from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Las Vegas. We had a medical emergency which delayed us like 15 minutes. So we had that same 15-minute following us for the rest of the trip up until I got to Salt Lake City. Now that was because I was on the exact same plane from 7:40 a.m. until I got to Salt Lake City. So for like 8 legs of the flight, I was on the same exact plane. Different crew, every couple of flights, that kind of thing, so that's the way it works. But either way, follow that. So every single one was fine having 15 minutes delay, because that means that next flight was 15 minutes delayed too, so it didn't really matter. But then when I got to Salt Lake City, we were circling in the air like 3 times because it was so windy that we couldn't land. Some guy actually tried landing before us and had to like pull back up because it was that bad. So that delayed us even more. And so when I landed, literally the plane that I was gonna have to get on was, they told me, gone. It was actually 10 minutes before boarding, they closed the doors and they were doing paperwork. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the lady comes like, oh, we can get you on if you want. And we were already in the process of trying to get me to go to LAX instead, but that would have been horrible. Either way, she saved the day and I was actually able to get on the plane. So I ended up getting on the plane, just got back from Phoenix now, and now hashtag 1019 is gonna work. So 1019 stands for 10 flights, 19 hours. That's what it means. And then I've been doing hashtag flight 1705 because that was the first flight I was on, and then the last 2 legs, Salt Lake City to Phoenix, Phoenix to Denver, is flight 634. So I put that in there too, but really 1705 is the main flight. So yeah, that's exactly what happened, and now we're on our way to Phoenix. Oh, also the really cool thing is, I said Albuquerque, or not Albuquerque, I said Nevada. Nothing in Nevada. Yeah, well, there's nothing outside in Nevada, but in the plane we had a phenomenal conversation about like religion and Christianity and other religions and philosophy. There was nothing going on outside, but there was a lot going on inside, so it was definitely awesome. That was a unique conversation that I really enjoyed. Oh look, there it is. It's ridiculous, and I was wrong. You can see it from the ground. Oh, it is super big. Alright, so we officially made it to Phoenix. Totally did not think I was going to make this. Alright, here we go. Last leg of hashtag 1019. Bye-bye, Phoenix. Only 2 other times have I ever stayed up this late. It's only 1 o'clock here in Denver, but it's 3 o'clock a.m. on my schedule back in the East Coast. But y'all know what this means. I'm in Denver, which means I made it! 19 hours, 20 minutes later, 10 airports, lots of craziness. I made it here in Denver. What the freak? But yo, check out this airport. Like, what the heck? Oh, there's the train to go from Turn. This is a big airport then. But like, look at that. And then the like old ruins. Are you ready? I knew I was gonna spend the night in this airport. So I brought myself a sleeping pad, my hoodie that's warm, and some sweats. Now the one other thing I forgot though is so I know there's a bunch of bad weather on the East Coast. So that's why I stayed away from the East Coast on this trip. I was just mainly on the West Coast. But guess what? All the flights back home to BWI, all the directs are booked solid. Like super solid. One of them's oversold. So, of course I figured it out. Plane leaves at 5:15 a.m. tomorrow. Direct flight to Baltimore. I'm gonna get jump seat. There are 0 seats on it, but I'm gonna get jump seat right now. So that means I have to be awake at 4:15 a.m. right here to get that jump seat. So, I made my bed right here. Right there. Right here. I can make that. 2 hours of sleep. Less than 2 hours of sleep later, guess what? Yo boy, got jump seat. Colorado mountain range. It's too bad we're going in the wrong direction. I would love to go fly over those right now. Alrighty, we are back now in Baltimore, which means that is the end of one of many crazy epic adventures that I go on. So, yeah, keep following, 'cause who knows what's next.